Well, people, I'm sorry for my voice. I'm with a cold. Let's talk about the power lift gate of Pacifica 2004. My gate was locked and I could not open. As many people just tell the internet, you just touch the manual latch and you just hear a click, nothing else, like a click. And I needed to open the door, the gate from the inside. There is a hole in the panel, in the beige panel, right close to where the door locks from inside. It was terrible to find what unlocks that the latch, and what unlocks, it's exactly this white thing here. This white thing here, but unfortunately this is behind the latch, the whole latch, through the hole. So what you see through the hole is exactly this part here, nothing else. This is exactly what you can touch from the hole. Oh, I'm sorry for the focus. So this is strange, because I read at the internet that you can unlock by inside. So I tried to locate, and I couldn't, until I just put my finger over here and bend it and found this hole. And I found that this was moving like this. So I bend a screwdriver. It's not here, but I bend a screwdriver in an S format, like this, a Z format. So I was able to get inside of this through the hole. But with a straight screwdriver, you cannot do that, because the hole is here. So you need to go like this and do this. And this unlocks the... Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't listen. But it's this. This unlocks the latch and the doors open. So then I remove this thing and try to find out what is happening. Everybody says you need to replace it, you need to replace it. But why? So I found out that I was just hearing the click and not the motor that opens the latch. So I start to mess around with the multimeter. I have others multimeter, but I use this from Harbor Freight. It's very cheap. And I see that there is some wires. Let me turn this to the other side. There is some wires in here. Those wires here, they goes to the switches. There are some sensing switches inside here. Oh, the focus is horrible. It goes inside here and to sense if the latch is open or not. But these other wires that comes, you see this round shape here? This is a round shape because there is a motor inside. So those wires are that feed that motor and that feed the click. It's like a clutch inside here that attaches the motor rotation to the gear that moves the latch. So measuring the resistance, I put this Harbor Freight meter in the 200 ohms like this, and I measure the contacts here from these wires that goes to the motor. So the other wires, the orange and I think it's black or something like that, this is from the latch. And when I use a power supply and feed 12 volts to these wires, I hear the latch doing a click, click in here. But then I suppose, okay, this is the magnet from the clutch that is activating. But why the motor doesn't run? So I measured the motor here, and this is the motor. I didn't know that, but later I found out. So this is the motor. The center wires, that is the brown and light brown or something. those are the motor. When I measure in here at the contacts, the number 2 and 3, the ohms meter just show infinite resistance, so there is no contact. So I said, well, there is something wrong inside with the motor. Then I remove so many screws. It's a torque screws that goes through all around here, those screws, and remove the top cover. So when you remove the top cover, you see the gears, you see the motor, and you see, if you remove some gears here, let's remove those 2 gears. Then you have this is what turns the latch. It's free, and there is no weight on this. There is not dragging anything, because remember the click. When you feed power to those 2 outer wires, there is a cable that goes here inside. You see a black cable here. Sorry for the focus again. Oh, it's there. This cable, under this gear, there is a clutch, electromagnetic clutch. When this clutch is connected, is energized, is when you hear the click. And then the power from the motor goes through the gears, and this goes heavy, this gets heavy, and then it transfers power to the latch mechanism inside. I'm sorry, I can't show that because this is riveted, and you cannot open that, so I need to replace everything. Thanks for Chrysler to do that. So then I went to the motor, and those are the contacts here. You can see here. Let me try to do focus here. Here, this here is one contact from the inner wires, the beige, light or dark beige, and here is another contact. It's like a fork, and let me tell you, the motor is not soldered or nothing. It's just plug it in. It's just plug it in into those slots. These 2 wires, black and red, is from the latch. It goes there. But the motor just go here and there. And measuring here, I cannot see any resistance from the motor. I could, of course, measure the resistance of the wire from this point to the connector. And the resistance is okay, so the wires and connector is okay. So the motor was bad. So then I just push the motor up and remove the motor. Let me try to do this again. Okay, I just remove the motor. The motor here is without the top cover. I remove the top cover with the Dremel because it's riveted. And this is the, sorry, what is it? Okay, this is the cover for the motor. Oh, you see now the contacts that goes into that fork. Okay, it was deep down there. I just pull over, and this is the bottom part of the motor. Those are the contacts. So surprise, bad. All the brush, the carbon brush here is damaged. Where the, oh well, here one, it just detaches from there and allocated in here by heat or something. I don't know what's happening. The other, when I open, was just, oh, it's here. It's not the position. The position there is just into the slot of this contact. And they do contact, those carbons, those brushes, they do contact on the collector of the motor here. This is the, oh, sorry for the, this is a tablet. It's it doesn't do focus very well. Well, here is it. No, I can't get. But then these are the collector. Oh, it's better. This is the collector of the motor. And those brushes, those carbon brushes, should be doing contact here. I measured the resistance of the motor in those collector contacts. It's okay. So the problem is exactly the brushes that are broken down and messed around. And thanks for Chrysler again. Well, this is a 2004 Pacifica. It's what, 11 years old, 12 12 years old. But anyway, I have other equipment with motors around that it's much more than 12 years and they are running. So this is, I don't know, maybe it's developed to have a lifetime or something, certain life, and then they degrade it and disassemble by itself. So anyway, everything else is okay. The gears are okay. There is nothing blocked. Everything, I do some manual operation. Everything is working except the motor. So if I could find a motor like this, I could replace the motor in here, and this will be back to work. But I'm pretty sure I will not find a motor that will do the job correctly. Only Chrysler will have it. But probably they don't sell the motor, so I need to replace this whole thing. So remember, if you have a problem where the lift gate doesn't open, it doesn't have a key or something to open, you need to open electrically. If it doesn't open, and when you put your hand on the latch and you try to open the door and it only does a click, nothing else, it's the motor that is not working, okay? Or somebody said about the switch that there are two switches here inside that senses if the latch is locked or not. So when the latch is locked, let me show you where. This is the latch. It's unlocked. So when you put down the lift gate and you try to lock, so what it does is this. It goes, you see, the pin from the base, from the bottom of the door, not the door, but on the base of the car, goes here, and this closes and latches the door. So now it's locked. When it's locked, or where is the thing? Oh, it's here. Or unlock it. Now it open. You see, the switches here inside, they change. They switch to one side to another, and they close a contact or not. There are two parallel switches. Both switches, they repeat exactly the same. They are twin switches. When the door is locked, those switches made contact, both switches. When you open, when the latch unlocks the door, both switches open contact. One side of the switches are common. One side is common for both switches. So here you see three wires. Those wires are exactly those. It's orange, violet, and like a black and red and brown or something. They come here. The brown and something. There is another little jumper here that goes to another switch. So this is common for both switches. The orange and violet are from each switch. And if you measure the resistance from this black that is in the corner here, here, this in the center, the first one to the left, this is the common wire for both switches. This is one switch, this is another switch. You know, the number 2 and number 3 are the two switches. When the latch is closed, you should measure 0 ohms or very low ohms from the first to second and from the first to third pin here. If you don't, when you open the latch, you should measure infinity resistance from the corner, from the number 1 to 2 and number 1 to 3. When I removed this from the car, I was measuring a constant contact, like a short circuit, from number 1 to 2, constant, nothing changed. I could latch, and this never changed. But the 1 to 3 was switching okay. And I read at the internet that they say the logic of the computer in the car, when you activate the unlatch, to open the door, for 1 second or something that is unlatched, you need to measure both switches opening. Because by doing this, it knows that it can disconnect the motor, it can just not feed more power to the motor. This motor is fragile, so they cannot doing power and power and power to the motor. So this is how they know if they don't need the motor to be running anymore because the latch is already unlocked. And if one switch was always closed, what happened? The computer in the car thinks that the latch is still closed. So they do nothing else. They do not even try to do nothing, because one switch open, the other switch keep closed. So they said something is bad there, something's wrong. So I'm not gonna feed power to that thing anymore. Well, in real, I have two problems, because I just knock this part with a screwdriver. I just knock in here a few times like this, and the switch starts working okay. The 1 to 2 pins here were reflecting the same as 1 to 3. So it means there was something bad in the switch, something that switch just, you know, melt some dust or something in there, and it keep melting and keep contact. When I bounce the screwdriver here, the switch just returned to work normally. But then there is another problem with the motor, with the brushes from the motor. I don't know, this may be some related to this. This may be caused by superheating, caused by the switch or not. But anyway, I had two problems. But then doing this video, and I'm very sorry for shaking so much the camera and the focus and my bad English, of course, I'm not American. Because I didn't find anything like this at the internet, at YouTube. I just found a lot of people talking, oh, you need to replace it, you need to buy another one. But why? Why is so bad? What's happening? Some people said, oh, this is the winter, that is not working. Maybe in the winter, one of those switches just got sticky or something for some reason, mechanical contraction, metal expansion in the warm temperature. In the winter, it just shrink and avoid to open or move, or the lever inside just got sticking or just, you know, scratching and doesn't open. So this is the thing. Now I know that, well, just for some bad contact, they're just knocking with a screwdriver, you work it. But I have this bad motor that maybe there is no way to repair this. And also the thing that everybody was complaining, how I open that thing, I can't see, because through the hole in the panel, you can't see anything. This is reversed like this. So again, what you see through the hole, it's here. You see through the hole this. You can go with a screwdriver, you find nothing. But if you just bend a piece of, I don't know, hanger or something, metal wire, and find a way through the hole to go into here and down there, and go through that hole, and just force it to lift this until you hear the click, it will be nice. So what I did, first I tried with my finger, a screwdriver, because when you lift a little bit, you can put a screwdriver in there. Then you almost see this through the hole. So if you lift a little bit, you can put a screwdriver. But it was very difficult. I don't know why they do. First, why they put the hole here? Why they didn't put the hole here? Why the hole here? Not here. Just you can, unlatch this easier. Well, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna replace this with a new part. I don't know if I'm gonna find at eBay or whatever, or I need to buy from Chrysler. I'm not sure. But what I'm gonna do? This thing, it just move a little bit like this when you press the electrical thing to unlock. If I put a wire here or a nylon string or something in, let me turn this to the other side. Okay, if I put a wire here through this hole and run this wire through under the connector, because this blue connector it goes here. So if I put a string here through here, I can put a ring at the end of the string outside of the hole. So if some other day this thing just latched again and could not open, I just go there by inside the car and pull the ring. The ring will be pulling the string, and the string will be pulling this thing up, and we will unlock the door. I see some other new cars like a Focus. They have something like a wire, a piece of plastic or something like that you can open the back compartment by the inside in case of your kidnapped or something. I'm gonna do something like this. Okay, this is I did for you that is desperate to solve this problem. I'm trying to solve this since yesterday. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.